What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Bernard Hopkins, co-promoter of Golden Boy Promotions, a Golden Boy partner with CEO Oscar De La Hoya, working alongside President Eric Gomez, has recently came out and revealed Canelo Alvarez's next opponent for the fight that's slated to take place September 12th on Mexican Independence Day. And the opponent that he said will be across the ring from Canelo Alvarez, a.k.a. Cinnamon, will be John Ryder out of the UK. Last seen in a fight that a lot of people thought he won when he fought the WBA super middleweight champion, Callum Smith. A lot of people thought he won that fight, man. This guy is a very short, stocky, compact fighter, man. 5'9", so he's basically the same size as Canelo Alvarez. So this will be a different fight in that regard because Canelo Alvarez, who is 5'9", has used to been fighting guys that are much taller than him since he's moved up to the middleweight and super middleweight and light heavyweight divisions. Now he'll be fighting a guy that he can look at eye to eye. Now, John Ryder is not going to excite a lot of people over here in the United States. You know, a lot of people would rather see him fight, Demetrius Andrade, Jamal Charlo, Triple G. It's one of those guys, one of those title holders at the 160-pound division where Canelo Alvarez will be able to fight them and unify. And the winner of that particular matchup will walk away with multiple belts. But he's slated to go this route, because I think it's all about economics, man. It's all about economics. It's all about money. You know, word had been going around that Golden Boy was looking for a cheap opponent. And a lot of these fighters that were being linked to Canelo Alvarez, like David Lemieux, saying they weren't going to take no pay cut. They wanted to get paid handsomely to get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. And so that kind of ruled a lot of those guys out, man. Yevchenko was offered a fight with Canelo Alvarez. He turned it down and went and now it's going to fight Jamal Charlo at 160 pounds for Charlo's WBC middleweight title. Yevchenko, was offered more money to fight Charlo than he was to fight Canelo Alvarez. The money that I'm hearing that's being offered for a fight with Canelo is $2.5 million. Now that's good money. Don't get me wrong, but when you consider the fact that this last opponent that fought Canelo Alvarez, which was Sergey Kovalev, made $12.5 million. So that's basically a $10 million pay cut for the next opponent to fight Canelo Alvarez. So, and they're not willing to do that. They know times are different right now due to the COVID-19, due to the fact that this fight is going to take place with no audience. So they got to understand that, but they still want to get paid somewhere in the ballpark. And $2.5 million is not even in the parking lot, let alone the ballpark. That's not even in the same area code. That's not even in the same state. That's not even in the same country as what Kovalev got Canelo Alvarez's last opponent. Like I said earlier, he got $12.5 million. So that's the dilemma in this situation, and therefore that's why we got John Ryder as his next opponent. I like John Ryder. He's a good fighter. Now, when you look at his resume, he has fought absolutely nobody outside of Callum Smith, and the fight that would have put him on that stage, and he put on a beautiful performance. Fought a good fight. I thought it was a very close fight. A lot of close rounds. I thought Callum Smith might have edged it out, but I need to go back and probably rewatch that again, man, because most of the people that I talk with that seen they fight thought John Ryder beat Callum Smith. But nevertheless, man, when you looked at his resume, he's shown not to be on this level, and for him to go in there and beat a fighter of Canelo Alvarez's caliber would be far-fetched in my mind if he was, to think that he can do that. When you look at his resume, he's lost to Rocky Fielding. Now, y'all know Rocky Fielding, huh? Remember, he got knocked the fuck out by Canelo Alvarez up in Madison Square Garden, the Big Apple. That was Canelo Alvarez's first time fighting in New York, and he chopped the guy down. I think he knocked out Rocky Fielding in the second round in an utter mismatch, as Rocky Fielding had a WBA regular super middleweight belt on the line going into that contest, and he was quickly dispatched. And that guy there beat John Ryder. But John Ryder's got better. Not to say the fact that when he fought Rocky Fielding, he's the same fighter that he is right now, coming off of a good performance against Callum Smith. But at the same time, to expect him to go in there and beat somebody of the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, I think that's asking too much. But I think he'll give a good account of himself. He's a guy that's going to take short money. He's gonna take the $2.5 million. That's still more than what he's made in his career. Probably at least 2 times more than what he's made in his career. And he's gonna try to fight a good fight, man. What they're gonna try to do is they're gonna try to sell the fact that John Ryder got robbed against Callum Smith, saying, well, he really beat Callum Smith. Callum Smith is the WBA super middleweight title champion, WBA super middleweight champion. Canelo Alvarez is the WBA regular champion. And I'm fighting the guy that actually beat Callum Smith. So they're going to try to sell that as that. But the fact of the matter is, you got guys out here like Demetrius Andrade, one of the most skilled fighters in boxing, the WBO 160-pound middleweight champion who's sitting out there waiting on a big fight. You could fight him. That'll be a difficult fight for Canelo. You had Jamal Charlo, but he's not going to fight Sergey Derevchenko. But you got other fights that can take place. You got Billy Joe Saunders took himself out of the running, man. Billy Joe, man, you like the UK version of Demetrius Andrade, man. You're wasting your golden opportunity, man. You're a very skilled fighter, but you don't have. I give him credit though. Billy Joe Saunders' resume is actually better than Andrade. Andrade ain't. His resume is trash, but at least Billy Joe Saunders say, well, I fought and beat Andy Lee. I beat Chris Eubanks Jr. and I beat David Lemieux. So I've beaten some credible opponents. Demetrius Andrade don't even have that on this record. But both resumes overall leaves a lot to be desired. And for Billy Joe Saunders to take himself out of the running knowing that he wasn't going to take no $2.5 million, that's what it really was about. It wasn't about Billy Joe saying he wouldn't have enough time to properly prepare for Canelo Alvarez fight in September. It was the fact that he knew that he wasn't going to get what Daniel Jacobs got, who got $15 million to fight Canelo Alvarez. He wasn't going to get what Sergey Kovalev got, who got $12.5 million to fight Canelo Alvarez. He wasn't going to get nowhere near that. He was going to have to settle for $2.5 million, and he wasn't willing to do that. So that's the reason why we're sitting here looking at John Ryder as the next opponent for Canelo Alvarez. Now, I've also heard that Canelo Alvarez is going to take a pay cut, but I find that very interesting and kind of hard to believe. Now, he signed a contract with the DAZN that's supposed to be paying him $35 million. Now, I don't know if they got any kind of language in that contract saying, if we get some kind of unforeseen pandemic that goes through this country and takes away live audience and live crowds and therefore takes away our earning potential, that you're going to have to take a pay cut. I don't think they had that type of language in the contract. I think he's just $35 million per fight, and I think he's going to get $35 million per fight. But I have heard that a rumor that he's going to have to take a pay cut. So maybe he takes, instead of taking 35, he takes 33 or something. Maybe he take 30 at the very least. It's saying he's taking a pay cut like he's going to go from 35 to 15. That's not going to happen. If it's a pay cut, it's very negligible if he takes a pay cut at all. So that's just my opinion on it. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see how it goes down. But again, Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder. Now let's break the fight down. I think Canelo Alvarez is going to be able to control the fight with his jab. He's going to be slipping a lot of those punches that John Ryder's going to be trying to get inside and go to the body and put pressure and back up Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez has a propensity to lay on the ropes a little bit too much. That cost him in the first Triple G fight. If he does that against John Ryder, John Ryder's going to be able to get off on him similar to what Triple G did. But the problem is John Ryder don't have the power that Triple G had. So that's going to be the problem. But he might be able to outwork Canelo Alvarez at times if Canelo Alvarez lets him bully him on the ropes and work and get his work off against him on the ropes. So that's one thing he's going to have to do, because as long as that fight is in the middle of the ring, it's all day Canelo, man. He's going to be able to dictate it because he's the most skilled fighter. Throw jabs, throw combinations, roll the punches that Ryder does get off, slip those punches, go to the body, and slowly but surely break down John Ryder. So that's what I expect to happen, man. I'm looking for a late stoppage by Canelo Alvarez. I think it's going to take a little while to get John Ryder out of there. John Ryder is a very tough fighter, but he's been fighting on a domestic UK level for many, many, many years. His first time on the big stage, he fought Callum Smith. Could have been his one shining moment, but it turned out to be a bad decision in a lot of people's eyes. And he ended up costing him in that fight, but in the long run, it helped him out because now he's going to get a big fight with Canelo Alvarez. You know, he kind of catapulted that performance against Callum Smith. Again, a fight that a lot of people thought he won, and now he's looking at the biggest fight of his career on a big stage versus Canelo Alvarez, the #1 cash cow in boxing. Now he's going to give it his all. If he puts on the performance he did against Callum Smith, I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be an exciting fight, man. He comes to fight, man. He's a very strong-willed, tough-minded fighter. And he's got he doesn't do anything great, but he does a lot of things good. You know, he's a good to average fighter. You know, average to good fighter. I put it like this: his determination, his will, and stuff like that is on a high level. But as far as his skills and stuff like that, they're average to above average, man. He just doesn't do anything great, man. But he's a guy that's going to be a come forward fighter, put pressure on you, go to the body, try to hit you with some headshots and just break you down and just put the pressure on you and make you uncomfortable with the whole night while you're in the ring with him. And that's what he's going to be looking to do to Canelo Alvarez. But in a way, he's going to be playing into Canelo Alvarez's hands because Canelo Alvarez can catch a lot of those shots coming in, slip them, go to the body. He's going to have the faster hands. He's going to be able to use the jab to make John Ryder reset. And he's just going to be able to have his way as long as the fight is in the middle of the ring. Now, if he's on the ropes and he lets John Ryder bogart him against the ropes, and Bogart is able to kind of get off on him with good body shots, good left hooks to the body, and good right hooks to the body, then John Ryder will have some success, and he might win some rounds. But if this fight is in the middle of the ring, man, this is going to be a whitewash for Canelo Alvarez. Man, he should win this fight decisively if he is able to keep the fight in the middle of the ring. This is a real estate type of fight. Where's this fight going to be happening? If it's in the middle of the ring, it's Canelo Alvarez all day. If it's on the ropes, then John Ryder can make this fight a lot more interesting than people thought it was going into it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. But I got Canelo Alvarez, what is high boxing IQ, knowing who he's fighting, keeping that fight in the middle of the ring and breaking down and chopping down and ultimately breaking the spirit of John Ryder. I'm looking for a late stoppage, maybe 11th round TKO for Canelo Alvarez. As we get close to the fight, I'll be talking about it, and I might give a more in-depth breakdown. But that's my prediction of the fight early on. That's my pre-prediction on the fight. Let me know what you think about Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder, September 12th. The fight is slated to take place in Indio, California, at a casino. I think it's called Turning Stone Casino in Indio, California. Golden Boy Promotion is putting on a fight there in a couple of weeks on July the 24th, featuring one of their rising prospects, Virgil Ortiz, undefeated welterweight. He's fighting Samuel Vargas in a fight there. So that's going to be, I think, the main headquarters for Golden Boy promoted fights. Now that we're in the pandemic stage we're in the pandemic right now. Just like the bubble in Las Vegas is what all the fights that are getting put on by Top Rank Boxing. I think the Golden Boy, I don't know, but I believe that, Golden Boy Promotion is looking to stage, their bubble, so-called bubble, in Indio, California. So that'll be the most likely destination for Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder. Not too far from where Canelo Alvarez trained. He trains in San Diego, so that's within a short drive away from where he trains at, so he'll be able to, be close to the fight location. It won't require him to get on the plane and, risk getting contacted with the coronavirus and all that stuff like that. He'll be able to make that short drive from San Diego to Indio, California. So that's another plus in this fight taking place in that particular venue. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see what transpires. Let me know what you think in the comment section about John Ryder versus Canelo Alvarez. Do you think it's a good fight? And give me your prediction who you think is going to win the fight. And also, give me your prediction on who you think Canelo Alvarez should fight. Remember that they're dealing with, they're looking for a cheap fighter, a cheap opponent. And $2.5 million is what they offered to fight Canelo on September 12th. So, I mentioned a couple of opponents like Demetrius Andrade, and other fighters like that. Demetrius Andrade, I mentioned him. I mentioned Billy Joe Saunders. Jamal Charlo has a fight coming up. And I mentioned a couple of other opponents, but you got to understand that with the $2.5 million, you know you're not gonna get those level of opponents to fight Canelo Alvarez for that level of pay, considering the fact that his last opponent got 12.5. So you got to look at fighters that'll fit that price range. Anthony Durrell, you know, Jason Quigley. You know, now it's gonna be John Ryder. That's why you got to look at compare him to those guys. You know, Rosario. Guys of that caliber. David Lemieux. You think David Lemieux would have been a better fight? Those are the guys that you gotta ask yourself: would you rather see him fight those guys, or would you rather see him fight John Ryder, the guy that he's actually going to fight September the 12th? Don't bring up no Demetrius Andrade, because them type of fighters is out of that price range. They're not gonna fight him for that low of money. Not gonna do it. Billy Joe Saunders not gonna do it. Them guys got titles. Those guys are champions. John Ryder don't have a title. He's looking for the opportunity. So same thing with Anthony Durrell. Same thing with Jason Quigley. Same thing with Rosario. Those guys don't have the title. They're looking for opportunity. So let me know what you think in the comment section. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I'll holla.